I love fishing. It is one of my favorite things in the world. But fishing is not exactly the most eco-friendly sport. With fishing, you are always losing lures, lines, and with commercial fishing, large nets. But spearfishing is the safest, most eco-friendly way to harvest fish, because there is no bycatch and you only take what you want. Well, if it's legal. Spearfishing is the oldest style of fishing ever. It dates back to over 16,000 years ago. The way people spearfished back then is with a sharpened stick, which they would then throw at the fish's body and then capture and harvest the fish. The modern way of spearfishing is with pole spears, spear guns, or gas-powered spear guns. Pole spears are typically used for inshore fish. Around 20 to 30 foot deep water is perfect for pole spears, but depending on your location in the world, you can also use a regular spear gun, or for the bigger fish, like grouper or snapper. You also use a spear gun in 20 to 30 foot water and deeper. Professionals will fish in waters hundreds of feet deep, but rarely ever dive that far. They are going for pelagic fish like swordfish, wahoo, and mahi-mahi. Backtracking a little bit, spearfishing is one of, if not the oldest form of harvesting fish. Now, it was much different back then, like way different. They would use sharpened sticks like spears, and they would even attach sharpened rocks to the end of them to make a more precise and a faster kill. To get bigger fish, they would use a boat, and then the spearman would be at the bow of the boat with the spear a little taller than him. But in France, the Coxcure Caves, they have images of all of this, and plus many other different methods of spearfishing dating back to well over 16,000 years ago. Instead of using spears, they would use, well, still spears, but they had metal barbed poles sticking out of the end of them that would act like a harpoon. Spearfishing with spear guns is now the most popular way of spearfishing by far. It also comes with requirements other than good aim. Most people are free diving when they spearfish, mostly because it is safer than scuba diving. When you are scuba diving spearfishing, you have a loop at your waist that holds the fish you get. This is dangerous because sharks see this as an opportunity for a free lunch and are not shy to come take a bite out of you and your fish. What makes free diving safer than scuba is that you only get one fish at a time. And yes, sharks are still a risk, but more or less to the fish below you. Freediving takes a bit more skill and practice because you have to be able to hold your breath for over a minute depending on where you are. When spearfishing in deeper water, like 25 foot or plus, it is mandatory to have a dive buddy. If you do not have a dive buddy, stay in 25 foot or shallower, because if you black out, you will not float to the surface, but instead be dragged under by the weight belt, keeping you equalized underwater. While I love fishing with the rod and reel, and slightly prefer that over spearfishing, it is more eco-friendly to spearfish. But the way I got into spearfishing is just my love for the water, but adapting to being in the water and around dangerous fish is scarier than being on a boat above the water. But we are all going through a scary time right now in quarantine. But have you adapted to the new way of living? I don't know, but I am personally having a little bit of fun in quarantine. And I hope you learned a lot today from everyone who has gone and from people who have yet to go. And mine too. Thank you for your time and stay safe and healthy. Good morning, evening, afternoon. I'm not really sure what time of day it is. I've been stuck inside for 2 months. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Wah! Oh, I didn't get it. I guess I didn't pay attention well enough. I guess I gotta work on my spearfishing skills. But anyway, thank you, Brayden, for teaching us the history of spearfishing. I will hopefully be able to improve my spearfishing skills. I'm sorry that you had to see this failure. At least I didn't kill this lovely manatee, you know. Who's next? Ah, yes, Ben. Tonight he will be talking to us about a topic that is very important to him in his life. Adapting during live performances. Live performances are the definition of adaptability. There are many things that could go wrong. I would totally mess up on stage. So, I'm sure he will give us some great explanations and info on this. Maybe a few tips for me too if I decide to start a career as a musician. Never know, right? I won't keep you guys waiting any longer. Welcome, Ben.
Every time I step out onto stage, I feel like I'm a completely different person. The world around me shuts off, and I feel like the only one around, besides the other guys in the band. I can't think about anything else other than how the music sounds and if I've hooked the audience or not. I always have to be adaptable, but do I think about it all the time? No. In fact, I think it's safe to say that I almost never think about how I'm being adaptable on stage. But it happens every time, conscious of it or not. Being adaptable on stage becomes a very natural thing after you start performing for a while. If it wasn't, then I wouldn't have claimed that I never think about it on stage. It becomes part of the routine. But there's one trick that will prevent things from going very wrong most of the time. We'll revisit that in a minute. There's plenty to do way before you even get to the performance. You've got to book a spot at a venue you'd like to play at. You have to make sure everyone can be there, make sure all your equipment's intact, and so on. But say one of these things goes wrong. What happens then? You keep working and adapt to your new situation. Fix your equipment, call a new venue, switch out band members if you have multiple. You have to keep working and adapt to the new circumstances. This is an extremely important part of the process. Even if it becomes fluent for you, it's still something that can't be taken lightly. There are many things you have to check on before you perform. It really revolves around sound checking. You have to balance the sound so that one instrument isn't too loud or too quiet. This is the most important part of this step by far. Countless times I've gone onto stage and started playing only to find out that there was an instrument that was way too loud or quiet. In that situation, adjust the settings when you're done playing your song. It may not look like the most professional thing to the audience, but it's a whole lot better than sounding bad. The same goes for tuning your instrument. Not the most professional thing to do on stage, which is why we do it before the performance, but sometimes your guitar or bass will go out of tune while you're playing a song. So you just gotta do it after you finish playing your song, and it's a whole lot better than continuing to sound bad while you're on stage. This is where things that I've mentioned already can get hard to fix, but with enough practice, that becomes fluent, but not always easy. Adapting to the audience is a huge step. They might be really into you, or they could hate you, even if you're playing great. I've had multiple cases where there have been some pretty crazy people in the crowd watching me, and they'll keep yelling at me to play Lynyrd Skynyrd while I don't have any Lynyrd Skynyrd in my set. And so you just got to finish your performance to the best of your ability and put that one behind you. As far as things breaking goes, you're going to have to fix them. What if your string breaks mid-song? Having a second guitar with you is always a good option for a couple reasons. But wait, you don't have a second guitar. So then you have to quickly change your string on your original guitar and continue with the show. You should always have extra strings with you. What if your mic cuts out? Well, in that case, you hope the crowd knows the words and tend to it as quickly as you can. Having an extra mic or a mic cable is useful too. And finally, what if your amp breaks? You're pretty screwed then. You'll have to finish the performance with an acoustic guitar, which isn't ideal, but better than just walking off stage. That trick I mentioned in the beginning was used through all of these examples I shared, and it's being prepared to be adaptable. If you come prepared for things to go wrong, chances are they won't. But even when something completely unfixable happens, getting to play music compensates completely for those mistakes.
What is LSC? LSC stands for Leadership and Social Skills Challenge, and it is just that, a setting where students can practice their social skills. It's kind of like Just Dance. It's a way to have fun while still getting to exercise. LSC is a safe place where students can learn leadership and social skills while still having fun. LSC gives students an opportunity to meet professionals in their area who will give them honest feedback on their skills. They get to use simulations like how to debate, how to give speeches, and how to even deal with angry customers. It also teaches them about how to give professional handshakes, answer interview questions, and how to problem solve. So help us out today by going to IndieEd.com so we can help the leaders of tomorrow.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I hope you are ready to continue because I definitely am. An Imagineer's goal is to help you feel inspired and happy, to take you away into a magical place, somewhere you may have always dreamed of going, but never thought it would be possible. So sit back, close your eyes, and let the weight be lifted off your shoulders. And join us as we explore what it is like to have our head in the clouds. You can open your eyes now. Welcoming my fellow MC, Reese.